The first transfer window of the summer opens on Sunday, and already the transfer rumours are flying everywhere. And it's not just West Ham either. Every single Premier League club, the transfer gossip is in full swing. Today we'll be taking a look at some of the big hammers headlines, including a striker West Ham have been linked to that's caught my eye. I would like to see this one happen. Plus, a player that we've not been linked to that I think I would like to see at West Ham next season. Now, I use the phrase I think because I've not seen loads of him. But from what I have seen, I've been impressed. So some of you watching will know a lot more than I do. And you'll either say, A, good shout, Geo, we'd like to see him at West Ham. Or B, you've been catfish. This is not a good deal. Avoid. You're going to influence me. But first, let's take a look at the big transfer rumour of the week. Actually, it's the second biggest and second most unrealistic transfer rumour of the week, because that Kevin De Bruyne one still tops a lot due to stupidity. And that is Jacob Ramsey of Aston Villa. Now, everyone knows Aston Villa have got to sell before the 30th of June due to PSR. And Ramsey has been one of those names linked away. Now, the Daily Mail has said that West Ham admire Ramsey. Ramsey's got admirers at the London Stadium. Of course he does. He's a bloody good player. But he's been linked away. Watkins, Cash, Bailey. There might be another couple of players as well to be added to that list. But that's the four names I've seen the most being linked with moves away from Villa Park that could be sold to accommodate their PSR. Now, in terms of Ramsey, I think he's a great player. My only concern with Ramsey is what his best position is. I don't think I've ever... He plays, to the left of a front three or a 4-2-3-1. He plays over on the left usually, and he does well there. But I'm still not convinced that that's his best position. And I think there's more to come from him, whether it's in the number 10 role, the number 8 role. I'm not sure. If any Villa fans are watching this, feel free to comment, because I think he's a really, really good player. I'm just unconvinced that that wide left role is his best one. But he's a really good age. I think he's 23 years old, homegrown as well, obviously. But here's the unrealistic thing, and the thing that just stops it completely altogether. 50 million. 50 million is the price tag. I think it feels a bit chunky. I think 30, 40 is a more realistic price tag, but you're a Villa fan. You're thinking, no, he's worth 50. Completely understand why you would think that. Now, I'd imagine if it is someone like Ramsey that has to leave Villa, they'll do a deal with another club, with a player they're interested in. Newcastle being linked a lot to Villa. Now, this is strange, because it's not like Newcastle want a player or anything. It's Newcastle are looking at Aston Villa thinking, who can we have? And I've seen some transfer rumours linking Ramsey going to St James's Park, Harvey Barnes going the other way, a bit of a PSR deal. That's not something West Ham will do because we're not clever enough. Now, I'm hoping that's something Macaulay might bring to West Ham. It's a bit late because it could be the last summer of these PSR regulations. But we've seen in the past, if we go back to last summer with the clubs like Aston Villa and Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, where players are going for inflated prices between each other to accommodate each other's PSR. Fine with me. They didn't put the rules in place. Well, they voted for them, but they're simply accommodating them and helping each other out a little bit. Now, obviously, Aston Villa wanted Lewis Orford in the past, so whether there was something that could be done there with Aston Villa, should we want any of their players? And I hope not, by the way. I don't want to see Lewis Orford go. So would I have Ramsey at West Ham? Oh, 100%. I think he's a great footballer and could become a fantastic footballer. But at 50 million, no. He's not worth 50 million to West Ham, and I remain unconvinced as to where he would play. Anyway, right, let's move on to the other ones. I'm going to get rid of my stupid badge then. Trying to be funny, innit? Before we do talk about other transfer rumours, though, just one point in direction of our online store. No brand deal, no video sponsor. Our online shop. We're having a closing down sale. There's a lot of stuff on sale. Most of those mugs are on sale. Some of those books are on sale. Some of those t-shirts down there, they're on sale. The signed Julian Dix prints, they're on sale. There's a lot up for grabs. Go to hammerschatstore.com. Links in description and the pinned comments. Treat yourself. Father's Day is coming up, so if you need to buy something for your old man, or if you are an old man, it's in a dad, not age, and there's something you like, send a link to your kid or your missus and say, oh, get this for me for Father's Day. Our posting days are Thursday, so anything you order now will get sent on Thursday and be with you next Saturday. But go to hammerschatstore.com. Hopefully, grab yourself a couple of items you like and help support Hammerschat. Basically, all the money that comes in for the store, we're going to use it on Wise Scout for next season. We can't afford Wise Scout, we've got no money for Wyscout, so we shut down the shop, have a closing down sale. We're hoping we'll raise enough money so that we can go and get Wyscout for next season and use it better to enhance our content. We didn't do enough this season for reasons I've already discussed in other videos. Right then, Lugano centre-back, Hajdani. Remember him? Hajdani, been linked to him quite a bit. The 22-year-old centre-back plays left of a back three. Their chairman, Lugano chairman, has confirmed he's played his last game and he will be sold this summer. That's one of the transfer rumours that's not going away. There's a few transfer rumours sticking around at West Ham. That is one of them. Keep your eye on that transfer deal. And then another player being linked to, someone that you may have watched on Wednesday night, is Real Betis's winger, Abdul Ezzalzouli. Ezzalzouli? They just call him Abde, so I'm going to call him Abde as well. I actually went and had a little look. Now, I'd never heard of him until the semi-finals. They played Fiorentina. The second leg especially was a cracking game. I was rooting for Real Betis because of Fornals and Pellegrini and Adrian. Good game too. He had a good game. He stood out in that match. He scored as well. But previous to that, I hadn't heard of him. So I've literally seen him play 3 times. That's it. I don't think I've seen him play more than that. But from what I feel like I've seen over the first 3 games, he was really good in the first half against Chelsea, but that's because Gusto was crap. Right? Gusto was just horrible. Made a change at half-time. Reece James come on. I didn't see Abde at all in the second half. But his dribbling looked good over the 3 games. His shooting, whilst he scored more than once, feels a bit erratic. It's 2 goals all season in La Liga, so it's nothing to write home about. But his dribbling felt like his strongest aspect of his game. And data-wise, it backs up. Here is a quick comparison between Abde and Mohamed Kudus, because I think it's fair to suggest that if we were to sign him, that's who he would be replacing at West Ham. You top left of the chart there, you've got the attacking side of the game. You've got assists, you've got expected assists and goals, you've got the non-penalty goals and assists, shot-creating actions, which Kudus is better at than Abde. Then you're into the passing territory. Now, Kudus's pass completion is miles better than what Abde's is. And then eventually you've got the progressive carries, which is where Abde excels. So he does a lot of dribbling, completes a lot of dribbles. However, as a percentage, you can see their successful take-ons. Kudus is actually stronger at it than what Abde is. Then the bottom part is the defensive side of the game, which Abde is far better at than what Mohamed Kudus is. Now, that's just comparing those two to other players that play attacking midfield or out wide in the top 5 leagues of European football. I wasn't blown away in buying. When I've seen him linked to us, I can't say it was one. I thought, oh yeah, I hope that happens. We'd love to see him at West Ham. Now, for those that watch a lot more Spanish football than I do, please do get involved in the comments below. But it's not really a transfer rumour that tickles my fancy, unlike the next one. Now, both of these transfer rumours have come from ExWHUEmployee over on the West Ham Way. And the next one is Richard Kone of Wycome. And the reason this is interesting, because he's a good player. He is a good player. 21 years old, playing for Wycombe, striker, 18 goals in 43 games this season in the league, that is. One League One player of the season. But the interesting thing is he's only just turned pro because he's had visa issues prior. So he's a late player when it comes to the EFL, if you like. But he's absolutely smashed it this season. I've seen a little bit of Wycombe because of Kadua being over there. I watched them in the semi-finals against Charlton, which they obviously got beat, drew 1 and lost 1. He didn't look great in those games, but I'm willing to dismiss those performances given the context around it, his age. And it's only 2 games out of 43 league games. Is playoffs considered league games or is it cup games? It's got to be league games, right? Because that's what it is. You're trying to get in. It's a league game because it's the playoff semi-finals, but it's cup. I should know this. I'm going to Google it after. My guess, my hunch is they count as league games. So is it 41 league games and 2 playoff games, or 43 league games plus 2 cup games? Nah, it's got to be. They've got to count as league games, haven't they? Regardless, I'm going off at a tangent here. He's had a really good season at Wycombe. I like him. I would prefer him. You know, is he essentially, who is he replacing at West Ham? It would be Danny Ings, wouldn't it? So is he an upgrade on Danny Ings? Probably. The prospect of having Kone, Fulkrug plus 8 other striker we are yet to sign next season, I'm okay with that. I think that would be a good collective. I think ideally you'd probably loan him out next season if we signed him, loan him out to the Championship. And Wycombe not getting promoted probably means he's on the move. I think there's a good chance he'd be on the move anyway, even if they did come up. But now they are stuck in League One for another season at least. I think it opens the door for clubs to go in there and get him. It'd be a good move for West Ham. And it's one of them, if we bought him, we loaned him out to the Championship, he had a good season, but we felt like maybe he's not going to step up to the Premier League level, you'd still make profit on him. I'm pretty certain anyway. So this is a deal that I hope we go ahead with. Whether or not he'd be involved next season, we'll have that discussion if we sign him. But Kone to West Ham from ExWHUEmployee, it's a yes please for me. Right, to the player. To the player I'd like. He's available, which is the most important. Well, actually, when it comes to West Ham, it's the price, isn't it? But even that's not offensive. 10 million is the rumoured price tag. But most importantly, he is available. And he could be one of the players leaving Villa Park this summer because of that PSR. Who is it? Well, he's been on loan at Valencia. So I watched a Valencia game randomly months and months ago. Can't recall who they played. It must have been like a Sunday night and it was only game on and I put it on. It's the only way I'd watch Spanish football, I'm not going to lie. But he stood out. Enzo Barrenechea. I thought that's a good player. And the commentary team kept talking about how he's on loan for Aston Villa. And I'll be honest with you, I thought, why do I not recognise had a look? They signed him last summer when Douglas Luiz went to Juventus. They signed him as part of that deal when they got in Samuel Illing Jr. as well from Juve. Then they loaned him out to loaned him out to Valencia straight away. Despite impressing in pre-season, Emery thought his game time was going to be limited. Let's get him out on loan. A very sensible option. But he stood out in that game. I thought he had a fantastic game. I thought his passing was really good. His diagonal passes out to the wingers constantly was fantastic. So anyway, about 3-4 weeks later, Valencia was on again. I watched him. He was good. So I reckon I've seen him play about 5 times this season, and that's it. Right? I've not seen him more than 5 times. So I know you're going to think, well, you can't judge a player on 5 games. Probably not. But between, the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking about these types of videos. I've gone and had a good old look at him in terms of statistics, in terms of watching him on Y-Scout. I'm not seeing anything that says bad idea. If anything, I'm seeing more and more that things I say for 10 million, that's punt money. And I think he's worth a punt from what I've seen. But this is where you guys at home or on the bus or the train or at work, whatever, wherever you are, if you know a lot about him, if you've watched Valencia and you've watched Barrenechea plenty this season, get involved. Now, he's been called up to the Argentina squad as well, but let's take a look at some of his statistics comparing him to our current players, James Ward-Prowse and Edson Alvarez, because essentially that's who he'd be replacing. So we've got Edson Alvarez there, he's the blue one, and then the red one on both of them is Barrenechea. As you can see with Edson Alvarez, he's slightly better for his passing, his progressive passes are a lot better. Alvarez is better at dribbling with the ball. Defensively, Enzo's slightly better. Offensively, that's not his game though. He didn't ever look good going forward, did Barrenechea. That's not why I want him. Comparing him to James Ward-Prowse, a different type of player, obviously. James Ward-Prowse completely excels in the offensive side of the game. But in terms of the passing side of it, there's not much between them. But as you'd expect, perhaps, Barrenechea's passing, his progressive passes are greater than Ward-Prowse. And actually his dribbling, despite being much worse compared to Edson Alvarez, is better than James Ward-Prowse. But if you look at the defensive side of his game, that bottom part of the circle, you've got his clearances is much better, his blocks, his tackles, his interceptions, his headers won, percentage of dribblers tackled is right out there in high 90s percentile. He's a good defensive midfielder. His passing's good, his defensive side of his game is good, offensive side of his game is non-existent from what I've seen in terms of goals or assists, don't expect any. But I think this summer we need to rebuild the midfield. I'm hoping we bring in someone who is defensively strong, and I'm hoping we bring in a other midfielder who is more of a number 8. Can do so basically a number 6 and a number 8. Can we get someone else in that can do the box-to-box thing that can perhaps influence the game in the final third as well as a defensive third. That is not him. Barrenechea is not that player. But if you want someone to sit in front of your defence, to give that defence a bit of a shield, but also to move the ball forward, I think that's what he can do. And at 10 million, I feel like it's a very, very attractive price tag. He's just turned 24. Yeah, he's just turned 24 as well. Now, I do have one concern with him. In the games I watched, all 5 of them, he was very rash. Dives in, does not mind an aggressive slide tackle, and it landed him in trouble a few times, picked up a few yellow cards. That's something I think needs to be worked on. So that's what I would say is his biggest weakness. So can he do it in Premier League? Well, we don't know. He's not had a chance at Aston Villa, but I thought he looked good for Valencia when I watched him, and he's someone I think I would like at West Ham. Now, when I was thinking, oh, who do I think he's similar to in the Premier League, I thought, right, who's a good defensive midfielder? Offensively, doesn't really influence the game much, but they're a good standard Premier League central midfielder that sits in front of the back four. Boubacar Kamara, the guy that he might replace at Aston Villa. So here we go now. You got Barrenechea still red, and then you got Boubacar Kamara in blue. Not too dissimilar. The top left there, the attacking side of it, we're not really interested in that, but you're looking at the passing side of it. There's similarities there. The defensive side of it, again, Enzo's actually better than Kamara, but I think this is where you do have to apply the context, which is Kamara's doing it in Premier League and Barrenechea is doing it over in La Liga. Maybe he just suits that league better. Maybe that's the best thing. That's where I'm looking for you guys for a little bit of guidance. But it's a player that caught my eye. It's a player that's available, and at 10 million, I think he's possibly worth the punt. Kone at a handful of million, I think he's worth the punt as well. Jacob Ramsey at 50 million, just not happening, is it? Anyway, there you go. That's some West Ham transfer rumours. I have done another show today. I've actually done 2 other shows today. I've done one on my own YouTube channel, which is Player of the Season from every single Premier League club. If you're interested in that, it'll be on your screen in a few seconds' time, plus description, pin comments. That's where all the links are. Always check the pin comments. That's where all the links are. And I've done a different transfer show over on the forum channel because Gonzo's away for a few days, talking about the Irish goalkeeper Kelleher, as well as us signing Daniel Cummings and the Celtic side of it all and stuff like that for anyone interested. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, whatever you're up to. Before you go, please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammers Chat. Catch up with you tomorrow.